For this week's edition of My Private Collection, I thought we'd take a look at a gun that was really a sort of a diamond in the rough because I wasn't really aware of what it was when I first acquired it. And it turns out that this is actually a kind of an unusual gun with an unusual history. And that is the MK12 SPR. The MK12 SPR was the Navy's version of the DMR, or dedicated marksman rifle, that the Army had been using for some time. The SPR, or special purpose rifle, is designed to be longer than a standard carbine, which gives you a little bit better range and accuracy, but a little bit shorter than a full-size rifle, so it still is able to maintain some compactness for special forces units. The Navy version shoots the 5.56, and I know I heard some griping from people that have used the rifle that they would have probably preferred the 30 caliber version that shot either the 7.62 or some of the 6.5 millimeter rounds that are available. Those of you that are movie fans out there may recognize this gun from its use in the motion picture Lone Survivor. This is essentially the same style weapon that Mark Wahlberg used as he was portraying Marcus Luttrell. As far as my version of the gun, this is one that I picked up at one of our swap meets. Somebody had this. Once again, this was a gun that was pretty much in pieces, and the guy offered me such a low price on it that it was like, sure, why not? My initial thoughts when I looked at this gun, because it wasn't fully assembled and it was missing several parts, was I was looking at the handguard and I was thinking, that is the ugliest damn handguard I have ever seen in my life. In fact, I kind of thought that maybe the guy had used a piece of like PVC drain pipe and just cut some holes into it. What I didn't realize at the time was that the initial version, or the Mod-0 of the SPR, was designed to have a carbon fiber handguard to save weight. Unfortunately, carbon fiber has a high tensile strength, but it's very easily broken through either crushing, or you can score it and it breaks almost like glass. So it's not as strong in some circumstances as a more traditional metal handguard. So for the subsequent versions of the SPR, the Mod 1 and so on, they used a more standard quad rail, which was a free float design. This particular one has the fixed full-sized M16 style rear stock. My understanding is the initial Mod-0 of the MK12 used a fixed stock. Apparently they had tried using telescoping stocks but had feeding problems because the SPR used a unique round. It didn't use the standard NATO 5.56 round. It used a heavier bullet and it was a fairly unique loading. So there were some cycling problems, but they eventually worked that out for the subsequent versions like the Mod 1 and so on, used the telescoping stock. It has more of a sort of a sharpshooter's or custom pistol grip to it, and I'm not sure if that was standard on the SPR or if that's something that somebody added to this particular rifle. And it also has sort of this custom finger grooved trigger guard on it, which is fairly unique for M4 style receivers. Another signature feature of the MK12 is the suppressor system that comes with it. In fact, it's kind of unusual to see a MK12 without a suppressor on it. It uses a proprietary suppressor system that threads onto the muzzle brake and extends over the barrel to a small collar located just in front of the front sight. This is the full metal version of the SPR, so it is fairly heavy compared to some polymer versions that I've seen out there. And due to the weight and length of it, I probably wouldn't call this my first choice when playing in a CQB kind of environment like what we have here at Replay. This would probably fit more into somebody playing outdoors for that matter. Because this uses a version 2 gearbox, it's fairly simple to get into the gun in case you need to make any minor modifications. You just simply remove the magazine, pop the front pin on this, and then the receiver will just simply slide off very easily, and that gives you access to your inner barrel. As far as the inner barrel on this particular gun, I'm pretty sure that this doesn't come stock on the original model, but this has a Mad Bull Black Python version 2 tight bore barrel on it with an obviously custom hop-up unit. So this gun has been modified somewhat, so it's probably even better suited for long range, better accuracy shooting. And if you want to find out more about modifying barrels and hop-up units, we do have a series of videos where I've done a number of experiments using different barrel bores, different hop-up units, different buckings. So with a barrel this length, it's fairly easy to get pretty decent accuracy. As far as the scope that I put on this is just some cheap 3 to 9 by 40 adjustable scope that does not have parallax adjustment on it. So this is not the most accurate scope that's available. But for the role that this gun is fitting, which is pretty much just as a museum piece here, I'm not planning on doing any kind of precision shooting with it. But if I did, as you may have seen in some of our other videos, I would definitely opt for a scope that is an adjustable objective AO or adjustable parallax, whichever you want to call it. So even though the SPR has officially been retired by the military, I believe they're now using the SCAR H as well as the SR-25 as a replacement for the SPR. This is still available as an airsoft gun, so if you'd like to come in and take a look at the version we have here and decide if you want to order one for yourself, feel free to stop in anytime that we're open. We'd be glad to show you around and let you hold the gun and feel what it does for yourself, and you can decide if you want to order one all your own. So until the next time, don't let the bastards get you down.